All right, let's dive deep today. We're going to explore Spiritism, specifically Allan Kardec's The Spirits book.
Oh, yeah, Kardec. He's the guy who asked spirits questions.
Exactly, through mediums, and then
Okay.
wrote down all their answers.
Super fascinating stuff. I mean, can you imagine having that kind of a connection to the spiritual realm to just ask these big questions we all have?
And in Chapter 7, The Return to Corporeal Life,
Yeah.
he really digs into reincarnation, like the whole shebang.
Yeah, and one of the things that really jumps out from that chapter is do spirits even know they're going to be reincarnated? Is it a surprise or something?
So it's like, do they get a memo? Or like hey, get ready, you're going back.
Right, and the spirits say it's not like that. They say it's kind of we all know we're going to die someday.
Oh, we don't know when, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. They even use this analogy of a blind man walking towards a fire.
Oh, wow.
So he can feel the heat getting stronger and stronger, but he doesn't know the exact moment he's going to hit those flames.
So it's more of a gradual awareness, like, okay, it's coming, but not like a specific date and time.
Right. And another thing, the spirits are pretty clear that reincarnation is not optional.
Like it's not a choice.
It's a necessity. It's a necessary part of, a spirit's evolution.
So it's kind of like skipping a grade in school might sound fun,
Oh, yeah.
but you're probably going to miss out on some crucial stuff.
Exactly. You need those building blocks.
But there is this kind of twist, right? Because the spirits do say that a spirit can choose to kind of speed up or delay their reincarnation.
Right.
It's like they have some control over the curriculum, maybe taking an elective or opting for a study abroad program.
That's a really good way to put it. Yeah, that's a great analogy. It's all about free will, right? So the spirits are saying that even though reincarnation has to happen, the timing and the specific challenges we face, those are things we have a hand in.
So, okay, let's say a spirit is ready for round 2. How does that soul actually connect to a physical body? How does that work?
It's interesting. They describe this connection as a fluidic tie. It starts at conception, so right at the very beginning.
Oh, wow.
But it gets stronger and stronger as birth gets closer. They say it's not a done deal until the actual moment of birth.
Wait a minute, hold on. So you're saying there's a chance a spirit could back out before birth?
It's possible, although they do say, the spirits, that doing so, backing out, usually means the child won't survive.
Oh, wow.
It's delicate, the whole process, and it really shows you how important that pre-birth period is.
And speaking of pre-birth, I mean, Karaka goes right there. He asks the big question about abortion. What do the spirits have to say about that?
They're pretty clear. They see it as a crime, ending a life before birth, because it interrupts that soul's journey and prevents them from getting those lessons they need.
But they do make an exception, right? If the mother's life is at risk.
Right, right. In that situation, they say saving the existing life takes priority.
So it's complex, right? It's not just black and white.
Exactly. It's very nuanced.
Okay, let's say a soul is born. What determines that person's talents, their personality, all that stuff?
Well, according to the spirits, we don't come in empty-handed. We bring our moral and intellectual qualities from those past lives with us into the new one.
So you're telling me that if somebody's, super kind in this life, they were probably a kind soul before.
Yeah, it's all about spiritual evolution, and it's not like everyone progresses at the same rate. You might have someone who's super advanced intellectually, but still working on that moral compass.
So that explains why we see some really brilliant people doing some not-so-brilliant things.
Exactly, and it's a good reminder to not judge people based on where they're at right now, Everyone's got their own journey.
All right, get ready for this one. This blew my mind. The spirits say our brains don't give us our faculties. It's the other way around. Our faculties actually shape how our brains develop.
Isn't that wild? Think of it this way. A musician's talent isn't created by their instrument.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's their talent that shapes how they play that instrument and even maybe how they modify it.
So the spirit is like the musician, and the brain's the instrument.
Exactly. It really makes you think, right? It challenges that whole idea that the brain is the be-all and end-all of consciousness.
Yeah, the spirit is the driving force.
Exactly. And the brain is just the tool it uses to express itself. Now, we're getting into some heavier topics.
Yeah.
Kardec asked the spirits about mental impairment and insanity.
Yeah, that's a tough one. When you're talking about souls and reincarnation, it makes you wonder, right? Are those conditions a sign of a less evolved soul?
It's a question a lot of people have, but the spirits, they have a different take. They say it's not about having a less evolved soul. Instead, it's often a consequence of past actions, a form of expiation, or just a different way for a soul to experience the world.
So not a punishment, but like a different kind of lesson.
Yeah, exactly. Like every soul, no matter their physical or mental state, has their own unique journey and purpose.
Makes you think twice about judging others. Everyone's got their own story, their own struggles.
For sure. And they even compare the brain to an instrument. Like if the instrument's flawed, the soul's expression is going to be limited.
So like trying to play a beautiful melody on a piano that's out of tune. You can still hear the potential, but, it's not quite there.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the physical body can either help or hinder the soul's expression. Makes you wonder how much of our own potential we might be limiting just because of our own, limitations.
It really does. It's that whole mind-body-spirit connection.
Right.
Okay, let's lighten things up a bit. What about childhood? What do the spirits have to say about that stage of life?
They have some really interesting thoughts on that. They basically say that childhood is more than just like physical growth. It's a time for the spirit to adjust to being back in a body.
It's like acclimating to a new environment after a long trip.
Exactly. And get this. They say children might actually have more developed spirits than adults.
Hold on, you're telling me that little Timmy throwing a tantrum might actually be a wise old soul?
Well, okay, maybe not all tantrums, but the point is that children are often closer to the spiritual realm. Their souls haven't been burdened by all those earthly experiences yet.
It's like they still have that sense of wonder.
Exactly. The spirits see childhood as a period of rest and learning for the soul, a chance to just soak it all in before taking on all those adult responsibilities.
And speaking of soaking it all in, think about babies. Their first instinct is to cry.
Oh, yeah.
The spirits, they see a purpose in that too.
Oh, yeah. Tell me more.
They say crying, for a soul that's still getting used to all its limitations, it's like a way to signal their needs and make sure they survive.
That's actually pretty smart when you think about it.
Right. The spirits find meaning in everything.
Hmm.
Okay, before we wrap this up, I got to ask about déjà vu and those instant connections we feel, or even those times when you just instantly dislike someone. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's like classic past life stuff popping up.
So it's not just our brains misfiring. It could be actual connections from past lives.
The spirits say it's definitely a possibility. Like, have you ever met someone and felt like you've known them forever? Or the opposite, like instantly got a bad vibe?
Oh, yeah, totally. Sometimes it's so strong, it's like, where is this coming from?
The spirits would probably say that's past life connections resurfacing. Souls with similar or clashing energies, they're just naturally drawn to or repelled by each other, even if we don't remember the details of those past interactions.
So it's like this energetic magnetism either pulling you together or pushing you apart. That's a fascinating way to look at it.
Right. It adds a whole new layer to relationships. Like the bonds we form might have roots that go way beyond this lifetime.
And we don't even realize it.
Exactly. It's all happening beneath the surface.
So those past life connections, they could be influencing us big time, even if we don't know it. But why don't we remember our past lives? Why is it all so hidden?
That's the big question, right? And Karnak actually asks that, and the spirits, they say it's not an accident. It's not like a cosmic oversight. It's intentional. There's a reason we don't remember.
You're saying it's like a veil, like something's blocking those memories.
Well, exactly, like a cosmic curtain or something. And they have a reason for it, They say, imagine being bombarded by memories from all your past lives, all the good stuff, all the bad stuff. It would be way too much.
That's true. It would probably be pretty overwhelming.
Totally. Like imagine all that joy and sorrow, all those successes and failures just hitting you at once. It could be really destabilizing. So the spirits, they say this veil, it's actually there to protect us, to let us focus on the now, on learning and growing in this life without being weighed down by all that baggage from the past.
Okay, that makes sense. But if it's all hidden, how can we actually learn from those past lives? Doesn't it feel like starting from scratch every time?
Not really, because even though we might not have those specific memories, those details, the spirits say that our past, it's not completely gone. It's still there influencing us.
So it's still in there somewhere, but we just don't have access to it.
Exactly. It shapes our instincts, our tendencies, even our conscience.
It's like there's this hidden current pushing us in certain directions, even if we don't know where it's coming from.
That's a great way to put it. Have you ever had a gut feeling about something? Like a really strong intuition that you couldn't explain logically?
Oh, yeah, totally. It's like an inner voice.
The spirits might say that's those past experiences, that wisdom from your soul, guiding you, trying to help you grow. They say our conscience, that voice that tells us right from wrong, that's basically a memory of all those lessons we've learned before, helping us avoid making the same mistakes again.
It's like our past is still there, shaping us even if we can't remember it.
Exactly. We're not just starting fresh every time, We're building on all those experiences from before.
This whole deep dive into Allan Kardec's The Spirits book has been incredible. Like, it really makes you think about reincarnation and, the soul and all those hidden influences from our past lives.
It really does open up your mind to a whole new way of seeing things, It makes you think about all the connections we have, not just in this life, but across lifetimes.
So to all our listeners out there, if you're interested in this stuff, definitely check out The Spirits book for yourself. It'll challenge your thinking and maybe even help you understand your own journey a little bit better.
And remember, even though we might not remember those past lives, they're still a part of who we are, guiding us, helping us grow, leading us back to our true selves.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep searching, keep asking questions, and keep exploring.